Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Rational Investor. This is not Brian. Actually, this is Brian, but I took a potion and turned into Julian. No, it's Julian. I'm on today. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but I'm going to Vietnam tomorrow, so we thought it would be better if I do my show from the studio today, and then tomorrow, Brian does the Thursday show post FOMC. I do the pre FOMC, and we just do it that way. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great week. There's a lot to talk about today. I'm going to shrink myself as usual, get rid of the stupid background, and we're going to jump right into the market because FOMC is in just 2 hours from now. Let me shrink myself. Wait. Nope. I should just click like a screen and it should change, but I always like to be like a little amateur with this and shrink myself. Okay, I'm going down here. Okay, kind of like this. Now we're going to shrink me a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm mini me in the corner. Hello. And we can go through everything that's happening with the market. Obviously, you know, the big thing is FOMC. So if I go Forex factory here, right, we go to the, go up here, we go to the calendar, and we go to Wednesday, and 1 a.m. for me in Bangkok. FOMC economic projection, statement, and funds rate. So most banks are saying, you know, they all put out the projections. Most are saying 25 BPS. There's a couple that are saying 0, but I think that the big one is going. Why is it sharing, by the way? Is it not sharing the? It's weird. What are you guys seeing up here on YouTube? Let me just check. So you're seeing the AI sentiment survey. That's not what I want you to be seeing. Hold on one second. Okay, I think it's updating now. It should be good. Okay. So I should update correctly. Sorry about that. Weird computer issue. So the big thing is let me just make sure it reflects on YouTube. Why is it not? Okay, there, I see it. I see it updated. The big thing is FOMC, and most of the banks are thinking 25 BPS hike. Some are thinking 0. In my opinion, we're going to get 25 BPS. Generally, whatever the predicted rate seems to be what we get lately. The Fed does not seem to be swaying or moving far from whatever the predicted rate is. I think the market reaction is going to be a very typical Fed announcement reaction, which is what? I'm going to give you guys like 10 seconds to guess, either on Zoom or in the YouTube chat. Guess what does the market do regardless of whatever the rate is? Whatever the decision is, what does the market do? Let's see who's actually paying attention. How many people we have on YouTube? 26 people watching. All right, somebody has to. I know there's a delay. On the Zoom call, there's no delay, so you guys have a little head start. What normally happens in the market on an FOMC or any kind of Fed day, whenever Powell's talking, anything related to Jerome Powell? Dump after. Nope, that's wrong. I mean, that could happen, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. What does the market do in the first like 2 hours or so? Market rises first and dumps. A little bit closer, Eddie. Anybody in the Zoom call? Oh, you guys put message. Hunt L. Hunt L. Yes, Christopher. Although you're helping me. Waleed also said liquidity hunt. Yeah, exactly. So it uses these giant news events to hunt liquidity. So here's my first recommendation. Do not trade these events. Just don't, because you're gonna get stop run. And if you're going to trade it, think like a market maker. Think like, okay, where is the liquidity? Where can we take out the liquidity? So why don't we let's switch back to the S&P really quick and let's look at where they could potentially take out liquidity. Let's go to S&P. Okay, and we're on a 1 hour chart here. So we're sitting up here at the top of this range. Let's go to like a daily, right? So I've got this trend line from before. We tag the top of this trend line, and we're at the top of this downtrend line right here, like this, right? But we're actually a little bit above it, and we actually broke out on a daily for my RSI bullish signal. Unfortunately, you guys know I'm like kind of bearish. I'm always like a little bit of a perma bear, unfortunately. But if we go to a lower time frame, so like a 1 hour, something that we could see happen is they do this initially, and then we go down. Or they do this, and then we go up. Or what they've been doing lately we've been seeing some very tricky moves, something like this, and then quickly down, and then quickly up, and then we go down. they usually do like double. Okay. So if you were a trader, this is what you would do. You would see whichever direction the market spikes. And then as soon as it comes past that liquidity zone, that would be here or here, you take the opposite trade, give yourself a little bit of margin. Like even this, they could spike it all the way down to here, right? And then reverse it. So those are two potentials. You just take it in the opposite direction, but understand that that is a very high risk trade, and there's potential that it could just go one way and that's it. There's always that chance. But if you wanted to trade this, you would pick liquidity zones, and you have to use very small position sizes and be okay if you are totally wrong. But from what we've seen in the past announcements, they use this as an opportunity to hunt liquidity. And it makes perfect sense, right? If you are a market maker and you have a huge control of the share of the market, it makes sense to use these news announcements to make extra profits. Okay, so that's the big event. If you're not in any positions, I don't recommend entering any positions until probably tomorrow. I would wait. I wouldn't take any risks. I think this is apparently, I saw on Twitter, this is the most anticipated and concerning FOMC since like in the past 20 years or something. I should save these posts. I really should. I'm going to start bookmarking them and saving them and then showing you guys, because I see them throughout the week and I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great for the show. I want to talk about that. And then I forget later because I didn't save it. So I'm gonna try to make sure to do that in the future. Another update really quick. We're on Discord now. There are a couple bugs, but we should have them worked out within the next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to shut down Rocket Chat and we're going to move everyone to Discord. So if you haven't already, try to get on Discord. Make sure you're on Discord. I'm going to start posting all of my trades there. I've been posting in Rocket Chat. We'll start posting on Discord exclusively, and then eventually we're going to shut down the Rocket Chat. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, back to what's going on with the market. Let me open up back to the FOMC. Oh, my computer. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. All right, so the one thing that's concerning, and I talked about this last week, is the investor sentiment survey is 48% bearish. The market's not going to go down if 48% of investors are bearish. You need something more along these lines, like 40% neutral, 38% bearish, something like that. You can't get a market. A market's not going to have a crash as long as this many people are bearish. It's 50%. It's quite a lot. Even though, which is interesting, the AI sentiment bull bear spread says investors are actually greedy. So I'm a little bit confused by that. But normally I look at the sentiment votes, the weekly sentiment. So it makes sense that certain stocks, especially like meme stocks, the stocks that were like most shorted, have been on a tear, just going straight up. Let me show you a couple really fast. Meta, right? So Meta's just been going straight up. This is a 3-day chart. It's like literally nonstop. It had a small pullback and just higher. We're sitting at the 50% level of the entire range. Obviously, it's going to pause here. I'm going to actually close a couple things on my over here because the computer is like acting a bit weird. I'm going to close those. Okay. You can see we're at a 50% on Meta. And then if we look at something like AMC also, I think AMC had a huge short squeeze. So right here. Okay, so it had a big short squeeze and then it retraced already. Yeah, there was your short squeeze up to 8 and then it just dumped. So that one, maybe not as much. Maybe it wasn't AMC. Was it GME? I think it's GameStop. Yeah, GameStop had a big short squeeze on earnings announcements. So they had a big move all the way above these liquidity levels, all the way up here. So very nice move on GME. You see it in a big way on something like NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I think I remember seeing on Twitter, almost everyone was shorting NVIDIA. I even had a short on NVIDIA at one point. And it just keeps going higher. It's really nonstop up only action since September. October. You can see. And I don't know. I'm afraid to actually short this at this point. Because even though there is a bit of a divergence forming, you can see on RSI, right? Right here and right here. Okay, I think we're back. 7 watching now. Damn, we lost everyone. Okay, so it should be good now. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, it's just a bummer that we lost so many people. There was 27 before, and now we have 8. 10. Oh, 10. People are back. All right, we're back. We're streaming. Here was the issue. I had the CPU power plan running on power saver mode. I had to turn it on performance mode, and now it's fine. That was the issue. There is no problem with Thailand internet, by the way. It's better than any internet I've ever had in the US. It's just my laptop that is built for like just looking at charts and not really streaming so much. So I have to make sure everything is optimized so then the streaming is fine. Sorry about that. There's definitely no porn on right now. It's freezing again. Okay, so I'm not really sure the solution here. It was fine, but it seems like once I start streaming, it is freezing. Now it's freezing. You guys are probably going to be seeing performance issues. Brian, do you mind like jumping in and streaming? Can Chris, can he stream while I'm streaming, or is it going to be an issue? Because I think I have to restart my computer. Yeah, so no, it doesn't make a difference if you do it. It's just I don't know what's going on. The computer is just overheating. It's my CPU usage is not very high. It seems to be fine, and it speeds up, slows down, speeds up, slows down. Let's keep going. It seems to be okay now. I'm not gonna make any fast movements. I'm going to try to stick to the charts. Yeah, Paul, it's freezing, but it should be fine in a minute. I think it will be okay. I'm going to try to keep the camera on. I'm going to close some stuff, but I wanted a really quick look at the dashboard before I close the browser. I think closing the Brave browser will help. Yeah, okay. Just keep that muted, Chris. Thank you. Okay, so really quick, dashboard. I think I will turn my camera off. I'm just going to turn my camera off, guys. Video capture off. I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so that should hopefully help. No video today. I wanted to have video, but I think it's better to have proper stream quality. So S&P breath, you can see, broke out on the 14th, and we've been going straight up since then. However, interestingly, crypto broke down on the 20th. So, you know, deferring views, things have diverged. Bitcoin was following the S&P, and now it's totally diverged. I think it's more so following gold, and that's why we're going to make sure to look at gold. So let's go back to the charts. Hopefully everything is smooth now that I turned the camera off. I think that helps. I did minimize the chat on the YouTube. I want to pull that back up so I can see what you guys are saying. Where is the chat? Show chat. Here we go. Show chat. Okay. Make sure the chat is live. Okay, I can see the chat. Yeah, so I'm going to close the dashboard over here. And I shut off the camera. I think things should be... Yeah. There's video on OBS. I see it. It's okay. I think it should be fine. You guys don't see it, really? Connecting. Okay. So it should be streaming. And it says it's good. CPU usage 0.6%. 20 frames per second. I don't know. I don't even understand why I have issues when the CPU usage according to Brave or according to OBS is so low. All right, so we're back again. You can't see my face, but I think we can go over the market and talk about, we were talking about NVIDIA and how it's been in a massive short squeeze nonstop. You can see every single RSI indicator is overbought down to from the weekly to the 60-minute. I've never seen something like this. It's absolutely crazy, and it shows the state of the market. And you're seeing a lot of stocks like this because so many investors are bearish. So many people are bearish, and that has given the market fuel to. Okay, so we're live. Okay, but just so you know, the background noise from your side is really bad. Like super loud. Some kind of weird static thing. Hello, testing, testing.
Can you put yourself on mute, Chris?
Testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing. Okay. Testing, testing. So can I go? Okay. So can I go? All right. We're back again. Let's see if this can work. Okay. I think my computer needs a restart, but we're trying for the sake of we're back continuing to not restart the computer, but for some reason something is causing things to run really slow. I do the same setup every time, so it's very odd. Anyway, I was talking about the NVIDIA squeeze and how this is happening in a lot of different tech stocks, especially. And that is because, in my opinion, the majority of investors are bearish. So the market has to find a way to take liquidity from them. I mean, this is an extreme PVP mode. The Fed is not, even though people are talking about the Fed injecting liquidity and stuff, it's not like it was before where it was easy money and everyone could make money. That's why the market just went straight up in post-COVID world for about 2 years. Back here, we just went straight up from 2019 because that was a time when money was just basically being given out via the market. If you were long, you made money. Now it's PVP hardcore, where if you're long, you might lose money. If you're short, you might lose money. It's all about going in whatever direction the majority of investors are not positioned for. So I think with NVIDIA, a lot of people try to short it here at 175. A lot of people try to short it here at 200. And people are probably trying to short it again now. And it's probably going to take out these levels up to 300. I don't see why it couldn't. It doesn't seem to want to stop. And the question is why? Well, the answer is, again, liquidity. I wish I had a good trade for you guys on this. I really thought we could roll over here at 240, but we just keep going higher. Why? The only thing I can think of is because so many investors are bearish on this stock in particular. Same with S&P. S&P has been basically ranging since we haven't gone anywhere. It's basically May of 2022. Everyone knew the market was bearish and everybody started getting bearish after the first initial drop in January. So then what did the market do? Okay, it squeezed everyone, did one more big drop, and then since then has just been kind of consolidating like this, and this kind of this little pattern like this. I know the chart is kind of messy and hard to see. There's not even like a clear, it's kind of going in this downtrending parallel channel, right? So that's what we have, and we're just sitting here. Let me zoom in here. This was my initial downtrend. that I drew from this M top up here. I make it bigger, get rid of RSI. My initial downtrend from this M top was to go down to this chaos level down here, 4.669, 3618. However, we keep bouncing to take out the shorts because so many people are short. So the market has to go down. It can't go down quickly. It has to dump within a day or two and then rally. And you see how much longer these rallies take? Like this rally was fast, but then a further dump equally as fast. But you can see these other rallies. Look how long this rally was compared to the dump. The dump, 3 days right here. Meanwhile, rally, it was from December and didn't end until February. And then we dumped. And how fast did we dump? It was 4 days in February to complete half the move, right? So this, and then again, we rallied and it took a while. And then we completed the next move in 2 days. And now we're just sitting / rallying. And why is that? Again, to kill the shorts. Same thing with VIX. If we pull up the VIX quickly rallied, and then it just sat up here, screwing over any investors that thought it was going to rally more through a further drop, and then finally dumped to screw everyone over further. And now it's sitting down here. Reversal coming in on the 4, and a general uptrend still intact. However, it has to do this again because overly bearish. I'm going to stop saying that because I feel like I've said it 5 times in the last 2 minutes. Let's go back to the S&P. So what happens next with the S&P? I think the FOMC is going to be a nothing burger. I think they're going to use it as a liquidity hunting event, and the market is going to go in whatever direction has maximum liquidity. And from what I can see, that is to the upside. However, I have some charts that look like they're rolling over. We have some resistance up here. So I'm not entirely clear on where we could go. I think this was kind of a W pattern here. And the W points to, if I adjust, so let's say this was our 1.618. The next level is 4,068. And the final level is 4,250, which is above our previous highs. On a daily, I'm going to delete all this because it's way too many lines and it's confusing. Let's go back to a daily. On a daily time frame, this is a bullish breakout right here, but we're running into the VIP level. So in my opinion, there's no direction to trade this. I don't have a clear level, unfortunately. I just don't. This is another one of those areas where it's like, okay, we have to wait and see, get some more data post FOMC, and maybe we can take a trade going into next week. But for now, I think the best thing to do is sit on the sidelines. If we get a confirmation and further breakout, we can take a trade all the way up to these levels, these huge resistance at 4,300, 4,250. If we get a breakdown, then we can take our trade and target these levels down at 3,600 that I've talked about down here. Those are your 2 directions. I wish I had something better. I just don't. I don't have anything better than that. That's what I'm seeing with the S&P. There's no clear signal at all. The weekly chart is essentially flatlined. It's just kind of sitting here in a, how do I say this? In just a liquidity hunting pattern, consolidation pattern, squeezing. I mean, if you look at this on a weekly chart, it almost looks like a squeeze. The market's making smaller and smaller moves until finally it's going to break out in one direction or the other. I think there's an issue with my trading view. That has to be the issue because it's running. I can feel it running very slow. When I go over to anything else, it's fast, but trading view feels laggy. I think there's some kind of memory issue, and I have to restart it. I found that happens sometimes with trading view. But in the essence of trying to continue this stream, I'm gonna just keep going. RSI is semi-useless in this environment. I'm leaning towards bearish because the weekly chart is bearish, but it just kind of flatlined here. It's the worst time to use RSI when you're around the 50% level, this 50 level. That shows the market is in a period of complete indecision. Even my trend heuristic channel, this usually provides a trend for me. We're just sitting at the middle area of it. So there's no real clear trend either. So that's why I can't really provide a trade, because there's just no clear direction. All right, so that's the S&P. I'm going to go through Bitcoin and crypto total, and then we'll go do the after party. I am sorry for the delays with the feed. Should be better next week. Well, next week I'm not even going to be here. I'll be in, actually I'll be in Vietnam, but it should be better. And we're going to have a special guest on from the site, who is a great analyst with fundamentals. And I think he's going to go through some really cool charts. Let's look at total and see what's going on here. Let's go to a weekly chart. So this was my original downtrend line for total. We broke out, retested it, had this massive reversal, and now of course we're rallying. And until this line breaks down on the weekly, it's actually a bull. Crypto isn't a bull. I need to see this RSI breakdown on the weekly chart to feel sufficiently bearish. However, I can't deny that on a daily chart, we do have potential divergences coming in, right? Like this. I need to see this line turn down. But right now we had RSI down here and price making a higher high and RSI is making a lower low. So there are divergences coming in, but these divergences can continue for longer than you could possibly stay solvent if you're shorting. So I would be extremely careful. It's very hard to trade these markets when RSI becomes embedded like this, or it's just sitting up here on these higher time frames, because it keeps looking like divergence forming, price is going to reverse, and it never does. It just sits up there and continues higher. You can see also slight divergence here as well in the 3-day chart. Daily also divergence. We even got a 7, 8, and 9. This is how crazy and powerful Bitcoin is. You had a 7, 8, and 9, barely even a pause, and we've moved higher. It's not Bitcoin, I'm sorry, it's the entire crypto universe. This is a tough short up here. I can't recommend shorting. I can only recommend taking some profits if you were long. But for now, I think that, you know, there's no clear trade. You have to wait till post FOMC, get more data, and then we go from there. There is an argument to be made for shorting up here. However, I have a strong feeling if you short it, it's going to go like this, and then it's going to take out your short. If you've got tight stops, it might even go up to here, and then it could dump. Or conversely, it could go down here, take out your stops, and then head higher. One of those two things will probably happen. Just keep that in mind. Let's go to Bitcoin. I think it's kind of easier for people to understand. You can see on the 4-hour this divergence. Very clear price divergence happening right there. So something to keep in mind, but we can always just push through. And why is that? Because the weekly is so strong. Like this weekly is just totally ridiculous. And as long as it's like that, you can't even take divergences completely serious. And it's very hard to call any kind of topping area. A lot of people on crypto Twitter are calling for this area to be a top, this 32 to 30K area, which makes sense because this is a massive resistance, right? Because of price action, especially above 32K, 32.5 or so. It's possible we get there. It is. But maybe it's so obvious that we don't, and it's front run and people sell before. 3-day chart, yeah, slight divergence. Daily's really no breakdown yet. 4-hour, it's all just embedded. You see how it just sits up here? It's the worst. I hate when it's like this because it's very hard to trade for anyone that uses any kind of momentum, moving averages, anything like that. It's any kind of momentum indicator becomes almost useless. You can see we're overbought on the 12-hour and the daily chart, and the weekly is working towards being overbought, but it can stay overbought for weeks upon weeks and just squeeze people. It's no different than NVIDIA. If you're long Bitcoin from say 20K or so, I don't think this is a terrible area to take a little bit of profit, but I would not short it. I would not. I think shorting would be a very dangerous game here. I would wait for some more data. You can see actually on a 1-hour chart, this would be considered a breakout long opportunity for me. So on this breakout right here, this would have been your long at 28.3 right there. Once that confirmed, and you can see how quick it moved. Like once that 1 hour confirmed, So 9, 10. So if we go to a 15-minute, how quickly did that move after it confirmed? Yeah, so here's 10. So it moved very quickly. You could have gotten in around 28,450 or so realistically, and you'd be at 28,800 at this point. I could still see it going higher. It's definitely bullish on a 1-hour chart. It makes sense to take out these highs before FOMC. It looks extremely bullish. I would definitely not short this, and I would not sell all of my crypto if I was holding it. I would keep holding to see where this goes, and then consider selling as soon as I see some clear, concrete divergences on something like a daily and a 3-day chart. All I see is potential right now. I don't see anything that would trigger a clear sell. This is just up only, and it's the worst, most painful market. I guarantee there's tons of people down here who wanted to get in. Tons upon tons. This reversal was the key. This weekly reversal, something that happens this quickly, is a sign that the market is not gonna. When the market makes it very hard to get into a trade, that's when you know that. And if you got in, that's when you know when you're in the right trade. But if it's very easy to get into, that's when you have to question things like, was that really a good entry? So yeah, that's the Bitcoin move. I mean, a scary move, a scary thing to consider really quick is, and I haven't been using this as much lately, Elliott wave, because I think it's extremely subjective, but just for fun, a scary thing would be this. If this was wave 1 and this is wave 2 pullback, and then wave 3 is like all the way up here, and then wave 4 is here, and we go like that would be scary. That would leave so many people behind. I'd be shocked if that happened in the current environment, but it's definitely would be I think a max pain scenario for a lot of investors. Before I sign off and go to the after party, there was one more thing I wanted to look at. I wanted to pull up Deribit options expiry, because I think I remember there's a big options expiry coming. Crypto option, the future exchange, Deribit. Show me the options expiry. Let's see. Show me. Large option set to go off tomorrow. Deribit options. It's paying. Deribit options metrics. Okay, so here are options metrics. Here's the metrics. Hopefully you can see this. Open interest by strike price. I don't want all expirations. I want to look at total open interest. I want to look at, okay, March 23rd, barely anything. 24, almost nothing. I think 31st was the big one. Yeah, 129,000. So you can see there's a ton of calls at 30,000. Max pain is at 23,000. So keeping in mind about the options, there is potential that we could dump down to this 23,000 area going into the 31st next week. This is the only thing giving me a potential case for lower prices. I don't think we want these people with 30,000, 32,000 calls to get paid out. There's even people at 27,000 with massive calls. Puts really don't start increasing until about 25,000. Let's see. Let's go down. Open interest by expiration. So you can see this is massive open interest. We don't really have much more until April, the end of April. And you can see how much more is on the call side than the put side. So at least for Bitcoin in the options market, people are not nearly as bullish as they are not nearly as bearish as they are bullish. Something to keep in mind. Potential max pain 23,000 for Bitcoin. So we could get a pullback into that area going into the 31st, which is next week, right? Next Friday. So even though right now it looks extremely bullish, the potential scenario is there for a pullback. But I could see them using FOMC as one last liquidity hunt for anybody trying to short before they create that pullback. And that pullback would come right into here, which is a perfect liquidity hunting zone. Go right below all these lows. It would be very Bitcoin-esque to do that. You can see how we did it here before. We made the max high. They always go below the previous range before they make a move higher. So same thing here. We go below the previous range, and then we can move higher, right? So that's examples of Bitcoin scenario. Okay. I think that's good for the public daily brief. I think we can stop this stream, Chris, and we go to the after party where I can take requests and we can go through anything that you guys can think of. And while we're doing that, I'm going to restart my computer and I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. All right. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe.